Hello there.
Hello, hello, my friends. How is it going? Happy Friday. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. How's everyone doing? It is great to be here on Friday night. Doesn't look like we have a ton of people for some reason. Is it because I was running late? Sorry. Sorry, guys. We were having some technical difficulties. Myself and our tonight's guest, getting them situated. I know they're experiencing a storm, and it was affecting the internet connection and such. But we're going to try again in a little bit at 6:30 Pacific to get him on. But meanwhile, we're just going to start the show. We're going to do our thing because there is a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. Even if it's just me talking to myself in a room full of toys and action figures, I have you guys with me. So that's what's important here. So it counts. How's it going, you guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to September. Today's September the 6th, 2024. It is great to be here as always. This is my favorite part of my week. Friday night, Cantina Social Hour, doing the thing, talking about toys and collectibles and all these franchises that we all love and adore. It's been quite a week for news. It started off really slow, but once like Wednesday came around, it was like all these reveals, all this news from these different companies and sneak peeks and this and that. So I got a long list of things to talk about. And again, we'll try again to get our guest on at 6:30 and see if we're able to for that to work. Hopefully it does. And if not, then this is live TV. Anything can and does happen. As you guys know, sometimes I end up in the world between worlds. Sometimes I'm, all that kind of stuff. Fun, realistic stuff that does happen on live internet. Did I say live television? Live internet, right? Is that what it is? Live show? Is it TV? I guess if you're watching it on a TV, is it TV? If you're watching on a computer, is it then just like internet? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm not going to ramble. I'm going to see which of my friends are in the house tonight because I want to say hi and see who's here. Dodgton says that all I saw was Jurassic Park and Kenner. What we have on our hands is another great social hour tonight. I hope so, Dodgton. I certainly hope so. That's my goal each and every time. And I hope I don't fall short. But if I do, I apologize. We got Adam, our moderator. Adam, how's it going? Good to see you, Adam Kennedy. Glad that you're with us. We got I'm a Madigan with us. I love your show. You just look like someone I went to high school with decades ago. Thank you for your work. Was she really cool? I hope she was really cool. Thank you. Glad that you're here with us. How's it going, Rick? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. We got Britt in the house. Britt, how are things going up in Canada? Good to see you in the Cantina tonight. David Matthews, hello. Howard or Base, hello. How are you doing? Thanks for joining in. We got Chad with us. Hey, Chad, how's it going? Yep. Cantinians. I love the Cantinians. My favorite. We should make a band called the Cantinians. Victoria and the Cantinians, right? What would that be? I mean, I already do the music, right? I already do all the music here on the show, right? I do guitar. I play guitar. So yeah, we would just need a drummer. We would need somebody on fanfare and yeah. That's a deep cut right there. But yeah, we could get a band together, Victoria and the Cantinians. I would like that. The Boogie Down. What is the Boogie Down? I don't know what that is, Arjun. I don't know what that is. The I need to know what this is. The church bells. I know you're always asking about those church bells, but I love what I love what Adam said. I don't know if I'm really an innovator. I try to innovate. I try to make things. I try to improve everything I touch and everything I do rather than regress, because that would be counterproductive. But I don't know if I'm hitting that bar. But yeah, the church bells. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see those again. Sorry, Dodge Sin. That was just like for a brief period in time. And you can go back to those old shows and get those church bells, but they're gone. And things aren't even final the way they are now. There's going to be more change. I mean, there always is. Like, I'm just a creature of change. I don't like to stay stagnant. I like to evolve as a person, as a human being. And I like things to continue to improve and advance, get better. So no church bells, my friend. Sorry about that. Paul's in the house. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Once she releases her music, maybe you can have that track and play it on a Friday loop. I'm going to do that. I'm still going to drop the Victoria's Cantina album. It's going to be all the music that you hear on this show and my channel, and even some of the other shows like Vintage Collection Podcast, the Collect Jurassic Podcast, when that used to be a thing. I still need to do. I just need to do it. Like, I just have a hard time finding time to do everything, but I just need to do it because I've been saying for years I was going to release like an album of all that music, and I'm going to do it. I just need to actually like do it sometime. I love seeing the chat here. We preach Batman, Star Wars, Jurassic, and to that I say amen, hallelujah. You got an amen and a hallelujah from me. Absolutely. Plenty of blue milk. Love it. One more Star Wars figure and you'll be divorced. Oh no, we can't have that. We can't have that. Britt says, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. This is my last confession. I bought many more action figures. I will say to Hail Rexy. I am my Father. Britt, you're the best. I love that. Hey, Mary. Good to see you. We got Blake in the house. How's it going, Blake? Good day. Good day. Who else do we got here? We got Nicholas in the house. Saturday morning over there in the future. You're on the big screen. Thank you. On the big screen. Phoenix just broke their record of 100 consecutive days of 100 plus degrees weather. I heard that on last night's news. Yeah, that's just wild. That is wild. Cowbell prescription. I rock hard to the VC podcast theme. Awesome. I'm glad that some people like it. Yeah, that music background comes in handy every now and again. Cool. I think I'm caught up. So again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Cantina Social Hour, Friday night, first stream of September. We are glad to be here. We have a lot to talk about. Our guest, Frank, also known as PadawanBear, is experiencing some technical difficulties. So we're going to try and get him in here in just a little bit, see if that works. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, we'll get him on again in the future for sure, because I definitely wanted to have him on tonight. All right, you guys. So first things first, just kind of want to give you a brief preview of what's to come. So we are having our Cantina Social Hour. As you know, it's every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific. We will be on next week with 1/6 Scale Man, Lael, 1/6 Scale Man, who's amazing. The following week, that's where my brain is today. The following week, we're going to be doing a really big Batman show. The one that I wanted to do before, we're going to do it. And we got Work More or Less, Jason Young, who you guys know was on the show a few weeks back. And also, we are going to have a couple other folks joining us that day. We are going to have Blainer Things, who's on Instagram. He works for NECA. He's great. And we're also going to be having Ryan Dull coming back here, who you see on the Toy Anxiety podcast, live stream, and on other shows as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Some big shows coming, and we're going to have fun. But I just wanted to give you guys a little preview of what's coming in the near future. So, all right. Why don't we get started with our first topic, you guys? Because I'm just rambling. I'm just rambling. And if you guys let me ramble, I'm a total introvert, but I'm rambling. And I'm going to do that because that's what I do, especially when I'm in a room surrounded by toys, talking to myself, talking to you guys, but also talking to myself. Because if a ghost just appeared in my room out of thin air, which, can happen totally, they would be like, who is this girl talking to? What is she doing? She is insane. That's what they would think. That's what they would probably, I don't know, they would say it, but that's what they would think for sure. And I know that I am crazy and weird and all that, but we got to present for the ghosts, or we got to present well for the ghosts anyway. Anyway, first topic, because I'm doing it again. You see, I knew, just rambling. Like Hank Williams says in his song, The Ramblin' Man. Great song. All right, Hasbro Star Wars reissues. I'm all over the place, but that's what makes Social Hour. All right, so Hasbro is reissuing a number of Black Series and a couple TVC items through the fan channel. So here on Entertainment Earth, if you missed any of these Black Series or TVC items, there's some pretty good ones, you guys. They have Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter, $99.99. I think that's what it cost originally, so that's not too bad. Some Black Series that were pretty popular, like the Black Series Clone Commander Obi-Wan. That was a Walgreens exclusive several years back, and now they're bringing it back. We also have Darth Revan, Asajj Ventress. Super Battle Droid is still on there. But also this one, you guys, the modal nodes, the one that people were saying a few months back, like, hey, what's going on with the modal nodes? They were out, the year before. Now this Cantina HasLab's coming, and there's no modal nodes to put in our Cantina as well. There are, because Hasbro is bringing them back to the forefront through the fan channel here on Entertainment Earth, $89.99. Pre-order coming in October. If you do wait, though, and, I probably wouldn't advise waiting, just because, it's probably best just to secure a pre-order if you need to pre-order. But if you do wait and hold off, you can use the Victoria promo code and then get 10% off your purchase, or even whatever is in stock right now on Entertainment Earth. So, yeah, it's cool to see them bringing these things back. They don't bring everything back that was popular, or everything back that was an exclusive, but they occasionally do bring some things back. And I guess some of these make sense. Like that, I know that Clone Commander Obi-Wan was really popular and it was pretty expensive on eBay. And same for the modal nodes. People were paying like into the over $100 for that set. So it is nice to see that. They also have, if you missed it, they do have the Night Troopers action figures back in stock, because they did sell out previously, but now they're back. And again, you can use the Victoria promo code and get 10% off if you need to get those. So just something to keep in mind if you're in the market for more Night Troopers. But it looks like they have some pretty good stuff in stock right now. They do have some Black Series, like from the Acolyte. They got some TVC. I'm just kind of browsing here. But yeah, the reissues is what I wanted to focus on. And I mean, if the reissues make sense, if it's stuff that Hasbro can currently bring back that is very expensive on the secondary market, then I mean, by all means, I'm up for them doing this. Hopefully they do this more often. No, the Victoria code does not work on pre-orders. It has to be in stock. Hellrunner base, it has to be in stock for it to work. Yeah. So those are the pre-orders. Next thing I want to mention really briefly is that the Sabine Wren from Hasbro Pulse, the TVC Sabine Wren and Chopper set from Rebels is it's shipping. It is shipping. So if you pre-ordered that, it was a limited time pre-order. It was back in, I think, February. It was really early this year. Maybe it was in January. They gave like a limited amount, like a month to pre-order, I believe it was. And now it's finally shipping. So yeah, I got hit with that pre-order charge for three of the sets that I ordered. And I was like, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's how it always happens. You never know exactly when these pre-orders are going to hit. Doesn't matter what they say exactly. But in this case, they absolutely are shipping. So if you pre-ordered these, and I hope you did because there's no other way to get them now. It was a limited window pre-order that has just begun shipping. So good stuff. Let's see what we got. I see some questions. What's with the X-Wing being sold out? Was it sold out? I didn't even notice that it said pre-sold out. Did it? I know it was in stock earlier. When I opened the link up, it was available for pre-order, but I don't know if the pre-order went out. Hey Matt, how's it going? Good to see you. Peak Obi-Wan, September is Halloween Eve after all. I'm 100% ready in here for spooky season. Like, I don't even want to wait. Like, I just want to, I'm here and ready for it. Like, my mind, body, and soul is just here for spooky season already. I'm tired of the heat. I'm just ready for fall and fall vibes. I had my first PSL today. I don't get very many of them, but I had my first one today. So that's how I started my day out. Adam, Blainer thinks can maybe explain why Nick is not making no Ben Cooper figures. Yeah, I mean, definitely ask him that when he's on here. Definitely ask. Feels like Mustafar in Arizona. I'll bet it does. It's really, even here, yesterday here in San Diego, we had the weather. It was like 94 degrees. It was the hottest day of the year and also the hottest day in since 2022. So it was really hot. Usually it doesn't get that hot here, but it was hot. I'm not kidding. It really was hot. Not making it up. It was hot. What are my favorite cartoons? I mean, the ones I grew up with, I guess. Batman the Animated Series. The Real Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like newer stuff. I mean, I watch certain anime shows. And then the Clone Wars, obviously. I mean, you got to mention the Clone Wars, Rebels. I think those are the main ones, I would say. How much is the modal nodes? $89.99 is with the price on it. Commander Obi-Wan is outdated, but gosh darn, I love the look and I had to get, yeah, it's a good figure. The head sculpt in that figure is one of Hasbro's best. Even today, if you told me to pick like a top 10, I think it would be on that list. It's really, really good. Yeah, I hear you, Adam. I lose. There's so many things these days that I've lost track too. I'm like, do I have that somewhere? Do I not have it? Like, I have to think about it. Sometimes I even have to go look and make sure I don't already have it before I pre-order. And sometimes I'm like, oh wait, I pre-ordered it, but I already had it. Conundrum. Brit, Excel spreadsheets. Yes. Yeah, Post-its. No, I can't do Post-its. I used to do Post-its, and basically it was not good because I would have so many that I would just like ignore all of them. I was just like overwhelmed with them. So I just can't. Now I do photos on my iPhone, just like on notes. Like I just do notes and I just make a bunch of notes. And because I almost always have this nearby. So it's like, okay, if I need to know something, it's like it's on a note. I can just check it real quick. The code is just Victoria. That's all it is. Just my name, Victoria. TVC sales in your neighborhood. My Target doesn't. I went to Target on Wednesday and it didn't even have a single TVC figure. However, based on the newest wave of TVC figures at Master Solar and upper $13.78 at Walmart. You guys, that low price point is concerning. Not because it's a bad thing. The price point is awesome. But the fact that they're ringing up so low is a strong indicator that they're not going to restock that wave. So see them when you get them. If you pre-ordered them, then you're good. But the fact that that price is so low just tells me they're not going to restock those. So definitely get while the getting is good. Hi, Eric. Eric asking, you've been working so I can pay my Hot Toys, TVC, and other. I mean, that's what you got to do. I'm working all the time. That's why I look forward to social hours so much, because Monday through Friday, I'm just, killing it at work. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. We got to pay for this stuff somehow, right? David, yours has left the building. Your Sabine and Chopper, nice. Chad, wish I got one more Sabine and Chopper 2-pack. That's winning best paint app of the year. It looks really good. And then Adam says Black Series York keeps getting pushed back also. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So I'm going to take a quick sip here. Sip, sip, sip. I promise I'm a lot quieter in real life. I really am. Anyway, we got Frank in the green room as I can see him. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pull him in. We're going to see if this works. Again, if it works, amazing. If not, then we'll definitely get him back on at a later point. All right, Frank, I'm going to go ahead and bring you into the live stream here. So do we have a good feeling about this? I think so.
I got a really good feeling about this.
All right, I say it's going to work. Frank, are you with us?
I'm here if you're here.
Oh, awesome.
I like it.
Yeah, okay. It's better for sure. Still a little bit of like,
hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, it's still a little bit laggy, but it's definitely better than it was earlier. So we'll try it, and we'll just do our best with it for now. If it continues to work
as long as you'll have me, and we can always do another night if it needs to be.
Yeah, we can always do that.
I don't want to bring the show down.
Social hour is almost every single Friday. So I mean, there's always opportunities for social hour for sure.
Good. I came dressed for the party.
Awesome. Love it. Love the Kenner gear. Britt has a question for you, Adam, and I think Adam already answered it, so I am late to the party again. Chad's aunt worked at Kenner, Frank.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're a big Kenner fan, and that's part of the reason I wanted to have you on tonight, so that we could, at the one of the last segments, so we can talk about Kenner and why Kenner is this amazing brand that people have a lot of nostalgia for and love and still see, Hasbro slapping its name on their products. So we'll definitely get to that. Yeah. Respect for the shirt. It's a great shirt for sure. All right, cool. So, all right. So Frank, this is your first time on Social Hour. So I always like to, when it's a new guest, just kind of talk a little bit about how they got into collecting, and how they, why it is and where it is that you focus in terms of your own collecting. So tell us a little bit about how you got into collecting Kenner and Star Wars.
Whew. Okay. Well,
Frank, I think you froze at the time. We were all eager to hear your answer, and you froze.
Okay. Am I back?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, let's go with it. So in the early 70s, when I was a kid, the $6 Million Man, Kenner had the license, and their products were out in the early 70s before Star Wars. So that's where I jumped in, and I fell in love with Kenner, was that product line, and then it led into Star Wars. When Star Wars came and ended, I was in and out of action figures. The Alien figure line was there, and I was in on that one with Predator. I think some of what you're going to cover is in that interim after that with Jurassic Park and some of the Batman stuff. I wasn't really on board and collecting that stuff, but Star Wars was my passion. Once that hit in the late 70s, I was on board with everything, and I was overjoyed in 95 when it came back.
Yeah, that was a good time. Like, I wasn't around during the vintage days, but I was definitely here for the comeback back in 1995. The modern toy line, as it's still called, even though it was 30 years ago almost.
Yeah, I was in the vintage years, and 83 Return of the Jedi came out. I was 14. I was at that age where it just, something had to give, and it was toys and childhood. So I needed to make the next step, and unfortunately fell out of it. I think I have the first wave of Return of the Jedi stuff, but from there, that's where it fell off. So I missed the whole Power of the Force years, all the good stuff that came there, that skiff, It was totally off my radar at the time. I was into adolescence, and it was not cool to collect toys. So that's where my boat fell off. And years later, I got back in again, and I'm back on board for the vintage collection from the beginning. I have the old stuff from 2012 on. Love every bit of it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean it's become such a big toy line. Like it was big in the 70s and 80s, right? But I mean, when you look at the span of what's come since then, 1995 to now, it is a massive thing, and it's undergone many eras and many evolutions, and now it's where it is now. Much different line than it was in the vintage days, than in the Power of the Force 2 days, than even 10 years ago. It's a much different line now.
I still I remember the Jurassic Park line when that first came out. When that T-Rex toy was on the toy shelves, I didn't collect anything that was Jurassic Park, but I had to have that T-Rex. That real feel skin, everything
Yes.
about that T-Rex looks like he just stepped right off the movie screen onto my desk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still have mine up on the shelf. My grandmother gave it to me for Christmas one year. And yeah, I mean, I remember going to Walmart and seeing it on the shelf for the first time as a kid and being, mesmerized by how amazing it looked. And then I remember like a couple of grown adult like guys were there. And I think one was a Walmart worker, and the other one was like, I remember he was wearing I don't know, like a long sleeve white button up collared shirt, and he picked it up and he's like, wow, this is amazing. And I think he bought it. Like, it was just the kind of thing that one item was just so impressive especially by 1993 standards. I always say this, but dinosaur toys looked nothing like that before 1993.
Dinosaurs in general didn't look like that. The T-Rex prior to Jurassic Park stood erect with the two legs, and it stood upright with the little hands. It never leaned forward and lurched forward like it did in Jurassic Park. That movie changed dinosaurs forever.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cool. Tell us a little bit, Frank, about what you do, because you also have an online presence. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, let's see. I got into a patch business as a side gig because it started with celebrations. They had patch collecting. I went to the first couple of celebrations with patch collecting, and I had no patches. I had no Natanmula to trade. Everybody was doing the trading. I had nothing to trade with. So I thought, well, all right, so I got to come up with something. So my first patch venture into the patch business was taking the vintage collection logo, contacting a manufacturer, having that logo made into a patch just to have something to take to trade. Around the same time, the HasLab broke into the scene with the sail barge. That's where I got hooked in with a online connection to a guy named Jonathan Young, who did this fantastic logo to push the promotion of Back the Barge. He used the font and everything, the logo from Return of the Jedi, took it and said, Back the Barge. So I got in touch with him and said, it will make a great patch, but let's go for the longevity of it and make it past tense. I backed the barge so that people could show their pride in backing this barge project. So that became a second patch, and then it became something I wanted to market and get out there to the fans. So that's where I started the eBay and the Etsy store with that patch. But I knew in my heart I was in love with the whole vintage collection motif, the design, the colors, the elements of it, the logos. I loved every title logo they did, and more so, I loved the mail away offers. As a kid, that was a huge thing for me, to sit and wait months on months for that damn figure to come in the mail that I was waiting for. It was a freebie. As a kid, you don't get anything for free. So those offers for the free Boba Fett figure, free Forlom, Admiral Akbar, I just loved the logo. The roundness of the sticker on the package lent itself perfectly to a patch. Like, I would love to bring these things into a patch market. So Jonathan Young was a fantastic mentor. He provided a lot of great artwork for me to work with on the Adobe Illustrator, to a point where I knew I wanted to do more, and I couldn't ask him to do any more for me than he had done. I needed to learn for myself. I took online class, learned Illustrator for myself, and I have taken it and run with it, and now I'm doing so much more beyond with it, creating. I love the idea of taking something and creating an artistic style behind it. So like you're showing there now from my store, like at the top there, those are a line of things I'm doing called buckets. So I'm taking the helmets and the Clone Trooper. Initially, I took the artwork from the Clone Wars 20th anniversary design. Somebody at Lucasfilm did this artwork. I don't maintain that this is mine. I took their artwork and I took liberties with it. It was like a half of a helmet. So I took it, mirrored it back, created an entire helmet, created a style to fill in the gaps where they didn't have something, just to create the Clone Trooper, the Phase 1.
Yeah. Thank you, froze again, Frank. Here, in solidarity with Frank, I'm going to freeze too.
But it was based on someone else's art that they started with. But that's where I'm kind of at and going. I like doing the artwork, and if I can make a patch out of it, others seem to be jumping on and gravitating to it. So here I am now.
Here you are now. Well, the patches look great. And I mean, I agree with you. Like the whole Kenner branding is just so timeless and classic and, pretty amazing. And, here we're still here talking about it and collecting things that have that branding on it almost 50 years later. So, I mean, that really speaks to how brilliant, Kenner's designers were when they got together with Lucasfilm at the time and came up with this whole aesthetic. It's such a timeless aesthetic. I think in terms of toys, like it's one of the most recognizable brands just because of that aesthetic and how recognizable and iconic it is to anybody just around the whole world. And that's why TVC, I always say is so important, because it's the vintage collection, right? It comes with that heritage, and it comes with, all that history, and, we love it still.
And I agree, because so I was born in 69. So when this stuff was on the toy shelves, I'm an 8, 9, 10-year-old boy. I'm buying the stuff and I'm taking it home and I'm keeping the box. I can just sit and look at the box and enjoy the toy. Most kids might open their toys and the box is in the trash. But at that age, there was something about the design aesthetic that told me, oh my God, that box is art. Keep that box, put it back in the box when you're done, put the box in the closet. I kept the boxes. The packaging was half of the product for me, even as a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe I was neurotic, who knows?
I mean, I did the same thing with the Jurassic Park line, like the dinosaurs, the big ones that came in the big boxes. I kept those, and to this day, I still have them. But I was just a little kid. It's like, why would I even do that? But I mean, that's just who we are, right? We're collectors, and we have very specific attributes and qualities and ways of thinking. I believe many of us.
So
And
on the Jurassic Park stuff, did you go and get that? It was maybe a year or two ago, that big Brachiosaurus I saw in Target in a box. Did you get that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never did, but I thought that was probably pretty cool. I could only see the box. I never saw one out of the box.
It's very impressive when you get it out of the box.
Does he dwarf the T-Rex?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a Brachiosaurus, right? It's the tallest dinosaur that ever lived. So it's yeah.
Good.
For sure. Well, Frank, I have links to your shop here on eBay down in the description. So if anybody wants to check it out, they can click on that and it'll take them straight to your shop on eBay.
Oh, thank you. I hope people find stuff there they like.
Absolutely. So a little while ago, Frank, you did freeze for just a second, but I froze too. So anytime you freeze, I'm going to freeze too in solidarity with you.
Amen.
All right. All right. So we're going to move on to our next topic. So speaking of Jurassic Park, there is a brand new set available that we just saw this week. And so this is one of the Target exclusive sets. So Target has had this legacy collection since 2018. That's like their line that's supposed to harken more towards the original films. And this is a legacy collection reimagined Chopper Chase pack. Now, I don't think it's currently available to order or pre-order, and it has not been yet. But the listing is available on their website. So it's still there. I guess a lot of us thought this was a mistake that it was up, but you know, it's still there. So maybe it's not a mistake. Who knows? But yeah, so this is an interesting set because, like we're talking about Kenner, there is a little bit of influence here with Kenner. They made a helicopter that had a similar aesthetic to this. It was a lot bigger, and it was a different kind of thing, but it was kind of this sort of thing with like the teeth on it on the side of it. So yeah, this is definitely like a Kenner inspired set. But you know, with a bit of a twist, it's more of like the Mattel version of like a Kenner type set.
How long has Mattel been doing the Jurassic Park? When did it switch from Hasbro?
They've been making them since 2018.
18. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I always say this, but I give Mattel a lot of credit because Hasbro really butchered this line when they had it in 2015. They did really, it's no secret. The product was pretty poor. But Mattel took it and they've turned it into an evergreen toy line that is always on the shelf. It's not been off the shelf since 2018. It's always there, whether or not there's a movie or animated series. So I give them a lot of credit for turning in, a dead toy line to what it is now. It's always on the shelf, and there's always kids buying it and adults buying it because they're dinosaurs, right? Who doesn't love dinosaurs? Yeah, so this set has the copter, of course, and it's got an ACU person. As I understand it, the portrait, the head sculpt on here is based off of an employee at Mattel. And then they also have the Atrociraptor dinosaur that comes in this set. The helicopter accommodates the pilot. You could put your pilot in there, and then you could fire a missile at the dinosaur, which, again, that's very Kenner-esque. I mean, it's cool. It's fun. It's not. I appreciate what they're trying to do. I think that the idea is there. Like, they're trying to recapture like the feeling of Kenner, but I don't think they've really. The execution isn't 100% in my opinion. Like it doesn't feel. It looks Kenner, but it doesn't feel Kenner. If that makes any sense. But yeah. I'd also like to say I'm tired of raptors in these sets. There are so many dinosaurs out there they could add to these sets that they have. All they need to do is repaint them, but they're repainting the same raptors over and over and over. So hopefully they move on from that, because raptors are cool, but I mean, shoot, they've probably released like over 50 of them at this point. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments about this set. It's definitely different. I mean, I still intend to get it whenever it's available. But yeah, there's just like a few things about it that I feel aren't completely up to speed. I mean, it's a cool copter, but it's not like it's small, right? It's not like if they truly tried to redo the Kenner copter, like that would have been really cool, like the full size one and everything. But for what this is, it's going to be $24.99 as I understand it. That's really not too bad for what you're getting. Mattel is usually pretty reasonable in terms of pricing. So $24.99 for a copter, a figure, and then a dinosaur. That's really not too bad.
So I did, excuse me, I did see in the store though they're reissuing that the T-Rex and the Jeep, the straight from that original Jurassic Park scene that's on that clip there in the Find Alternative. I thought that was kind of a cute payback if you didn't get the stuff the first time and it's repackaged the way the original movie stuff was, or very similar.
Yeah, definitely. That is a cool thing they've been doing on some other items. All right. So we're going to move on from that to a little bit of Batman, because, Batman is one of my favorite things. I love Batman. All right. So Super 7. Frank, I don't know how familiar you are with Super 7, but they are a company that focuses on 7-inch scale figures. And then they also do the small reaction figures, the ones that are like retro inspired, like 5 POA on a Kenner style card back, but for other lines that are not Star Wars, basically. And yeah, so they are based on what they've said on Instagram recently, they are doing Batman 89. So all it says is Super 7. We don't have a lot of information on what's going on. But the one item that they have put up for pre-order is this Batmobile right here. It's a 13-inch long removable panels. It's called the Super Cyborg Batmobile. I don't really know why it's called the Cyborg. I'm not too familiar with this line. But I pre-ordered it because it's the 1989 Batmobile. Like, that's totally my favorite Batman, the Tim Burton Batman. So I don't know exactly, like it says it's 13 inches long and 5 inches wide. So it sounds to me like it's going to be pretty close to the Kenner sized Batmobile. So for me, that was pretty exciting. And I went ahead and pre-ordered this. But yeah, this is the first thing that they've done. I don't know if they're going to move into figures. If they did, then they would be in that 7-inch scale, I assume. And yeah, I mean, I'd be interested in seeing what they do and how it's different from what McFarlane does for their DC figures.
Now, I saw some pretty cool Batman figures in the store recently, and I don't know, somebody in comments said, what was the brand? Spin Master. Are you familiar with those?
Oh, yes.
I mean, those are, when I saw these on the shelf, sorry,
I can't see what it is, Frank.
That's not working out. Sorry, but they're very Kenner-esque figures. They're a 4-inch scale, but they're super articulated, and they were $6.99. They
That's
had
not bad.
Bane. They had Bane from The Dark Knight Returns, and then the Batman Returns version. So kind of led me to think they might do more. I would love to see Penguin and Catwoman from Batman Returns there in that same style.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, so this is the very first item that they've done. I'm curious to see what else is next, because it might be tempting. I don't like 7-inch scale figures. I really don't. To me, it's just not a good scale. It's too big. 6-inch is a little more universal, so I don't love when I see 7-inch stuff of like lines that I want. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just a weird scale. I don't like 7-inch scale.
Who needs one more inch?
Yeah, I'm not touching that one, Frank.
Friday night, you got me going.
I'm not touching that one, Frank.
I know.
Yeah. So there is also there's more Batman actually. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one up, but this one comes from. Let's see if I can find the right link here. We're gonna go back to Entertainment Earth, because they now have, well, first of all, McFarlane has and these are 6-inch, but they put up a pre-order earlier today, and a couple of them are pre-sold out. But they have like the classic 1966 like Batgirl. She's pre-sold out. They have her motorcycle, which is pretty awesome. They have a Wonder Woman that's designed to look as she is in that era, like 60s, and that's kind of cool. There is Clock King, which is a character that we don't really ever see, but he was definitely featured in that 60s Batman series because I remember him very well. Not the most intimidating villain of Batman's, villains, Clock King, but definitely a notable one that they're making a figure of. And then there's a Joker that has a weapon contraption of some sort. And then what else do we got here? We got a red Batman for whatever reason. I'm not sure why he's red. It just says poster 6-inch. So maybe this is Batman the movie. Maybe it was a poster design. Yeah, so they're keeping that line going. But they also have some new Beast Kingdom figures that I do want to point out, if I can spell it right. These ones went up for pre-order yesterday, I think. But basically, for $50 each, I think most of them are $50 each, except for one of them. They have these. They have the Michael Keaton Batman, and this is the 8-inch scale, Frank. That's all I'm going to say. This is the 8-inch scale. I don't know. Again, I don't know why.
Hey,
I'm not in charge of making these choices. Yeah, so this is 8-inch scale, and they have a Batman for every era. So there is that one. What else do they got? They have the Justice League version for $10 more. I don't know why. It's $10 more. There's the Batman Forever version in the Sonar suit. There is Batman Begins. There is the Dark Knight version. There is the Batman version, Robert Pattinson version. And then they have Batman and Robin, and this one does have the bat nipples on his costume. Yes, I just said bat nipples because it's true. Because it is a feature of the figure, so you got to mention it. Anyhow, yeah. So yeah, a lot of Batman this week. I don't know what's going on, but Batman is heavily featured this year in terms of collectibles, and I'm all here for it. That doesn't mean I'm going to buy all of them, but I am glad to see more Batman, and especially like the movie focused Batmans is always cool to see.
So what of all the Batman genres, clicks, cartoon, movies, and different Burton versus Nolan, what's your all-time go-to Batman?
I mean, I find something to enjoy out of all of them, but like my Batman is always Tim Burton's version, like Michael Keaton Batman. That's the version that I grew up with that was one of the first movies I saw in theaters was Batman 89. I shouldn't have been there. I was too young. I should not have been there in the theater seeing Batman 89, but I was. My older cousins that were like in high school took me and I was there watching it. And I was terrified of Jack Nicholson as the Joker. But yeah, I
was terrified of those plaid pants.
He did have plaid pants. That is true.
He did.
With a silk shirt. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite iteration. Do I think that's the absolute best iteration? Not necessarily. I mean, you can't deny the Christopher Nolan version story.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Batman a couple years back, and then the animated series is incredible too. And then I love the Arkham video games series. So all of those are great, but yeah, the classic Tim Burton Batman, that's like always 100% like my version of Batman. That's like my favorite.
Yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, that was pretty solid for me.
Yeah, totally. Like those two movies, like those are the ones I can watch like over and over. I love them.
Yeah. It's a great Christmas classic.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Why not? We can count it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What else do we got here? All right, there's a lot of Beetlejuice toys out of nowhere because this is there have not been like Beetlejuice toys in years. Like it's just not something that anyone's ever really touched. I know that there was a Toonie Terrors version. I think NECA did one a while back, but that's basically it. But now all of a sudden there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things coming. So I was going to kind of itemize them, and I still am going to do that, but there are just so many that, I'm just going to kind of touch on them. But I guess first of all, SH Figure Arts, Bandai Tamashii Nation's SH Figure Arts. These are import figures. These are very easy to find in Japan. Like if you go to stores there, they are making. They're not saying what. They're not saying what characters. I think we can all guess which character it would be. But they're teasing that they are going to be making Beetlejuice figures, which I think is pretty neat. I'm excited to see what they do. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
I never saw Beetlejuice.
Frank, you have to leave right now and never talk to me again.
Did I say that out loud? That was supposed to be an inner voice.
Frank, I'm very disappointed.
I know.
It's only like one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. All right. It's okay. We'll give you a pass, Frank. It's your first time.
When is this next one coming?
It's officially out today.
Today. There we go.
And I saw it 2 nights ago. I got to attend an advanced screening, and I absolutely enjoyed it.
Good.
Yes, no spoilers. I'm not NECA. I'm not going to spoil things like NECA did on their Instagram and socials today. I'm not going to do that. I'm not NECA. NECA, that was poor showmanship. You guys shouldn't have done that. It wasn't a big thing that they spoiled. It wasn't like a major plot point, but it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, to me, it's all the same. These merchandising companies should not be putting anything out there that, especially at 9. It went up at 9 o'clock this morning, which is today's release day. When it went up at 9 o'clock on release day, and that's just messed up. Like they should have saved that for Monday morning at least. That was just kind of really poor.
Is Darth Vader his father?
I mean, I'm not going to say, Frank, because I'm not talking spoilers.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah, but no, that was, yeah. Adam, you saw that too. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Anyway, so SH Figure Arts and then NECA has their own thing, but that's not it. That's not it, because there are 2 1/6 scale 12-inch figures that are coming. And the first one was released or announced earlier this week, and this is Sideshow's version. Sideshow, they do their own 6 scale lines of figures. And yeah, so that they have a 6-inch Beetlejuice coming. And I mean, Sideshow and Hot Toys, it's weird because Sideshow does their own figures, but they also sell Hot Toys through their website. And Hot Toys are like 90% of the time better than Sideshow. So it's just kind of strange that they both have one at the same time, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so their version is, I mean, it's not terrible. It looks all right. I don't think the face sculpt is that bad. He looks a little off, I would say. His outfit looks a little too clean, which you wouldn't know, Frank, if you haven't seen the movie after all these years. But
picture it a little dirtier.
Yeah, it's a little too clean. I mean, just looking at him, you would know like he needs to look a little messier. So a little too pristine looking for whatever reason. I don't know what their rationale for that was, but it's Sideshow. I don't really buy Side. I have a couple other things, but not. I don't usually. I prefer Hot Toys. So yeah, this is on pre-order now. Expected to ship September or through November, which is pretty quick. That is one thing they have over Hot Toys is they don't make you wait as long to get their stuff. And this is $280 for this one. But like I was saying, that's Sideshow's version. Hot Toys isn't to be outdone on something like this. So Hot Toys is also doing their own Beetlejuice 12-inch figure. And yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, I kind of feel like it's really like no question which one looks a little bit better. I know a lot of people pre-ordered the Sideshow one earlier this week only to cancel their orders as soon as they found out that Hot Toys was doing one. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I probably will. But I just want to go through some of these pictures because, I mean, you can definitely tell, like, it just looks more realistic. The outfit looks better. Like, the coloring looks more detailed. I think the tailoring in the outfit has smaller stitching, which, is obviously more realistic. He has his tombstone base. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. It comes with 2 head sculpts. Check this out, Frank. You get 2 head sculpts with this one. You get a normal head sculpt, and then you get the eyes popping out and tongue out version too.
Now the hair is green on this version, and it didn't look that way on the sideshow.
No, it didn't. It did not. So yeah, this is definitely the superior. You get what you pay for, exactly. This is definitely the superior one. And he comes with all these items here. So plenty there to have. And yeah, I just think it looks more realistic. There's a lot of more detail and texture on his head, on his face sculpt. And I hope they don't stop here. I really hope they do other characters. I don't know that they will. I don't think it's likely. But I would definitely like any of these companies really to not just focus on Beetlejuice. They need to do like Lydia and some of the other characters would be amazing.
Now, as a middle-aged man, I will say I think they captured his belly pretty well on this one too.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's that whole era, like, the Batman and Beetlejuice, like the whole Tim Burton stuff, and that whole era, right? Like Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Before Christmas. And then my mom asks why I turned out the way I did. It's like, well, look what I was watching when I was a little kid.
She should have kept a shorter leash on you.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do a run through the comments, and I'm going to see what folks are saying because I haven't seen the comments in just a little bit. Let's see here. My freeze pose is classic. Should I do it again?
I gotta work on mine.
A's again. Anyway, let's see here. Hey, Steven, how's it going? What did you miss? You missed everything, Steven. You missed everything. Where in the hell were you? Why are you so late to? No, I'm just kidding. You can go back and watch the replay anytime. It's always going to be there. Probably way beyond me. It's going to still be on YouTube 100 years from now. People are going to wonder who was that weirdo. Let's see. Dodson says, in my opinion, this is one of the weaker sets so far. I mean, the chopper is supposed to represent the capture copter, but it looks like a chat-me helicopter. Yeah, I've heard people saying, Dodson, that it does look even like Play School, or it just doesn't really look like, Mattel quality. And, I hear that. I get that too. So I'm going to pick it up. But, yeah, I'm not like blown away by it. I think that the essence of what they're trying to do with hearkening back to Kenner is there. It's apparent, but it's not, the soul of it isn't there. Holiday Collection Raptor? I guess so. When is the new Hammond collection available? Which one? The Allosaurus, I think, is in January. What else did they have for pre-order? I'm trying to remember recently. Hey, Ralph, how's it going? That Red Raptor looks cool. It does look cool. I will say that. It does look very cool. I'm just tired of Raptors. Like, they just do too many Raptors. Dawson says, I think the Atrociraptor is supposed to represent the first basic Velociraptor in the Kenner line, but the color-wise doesn't look anything like it. Yeah. I mean, maybe. They're not that red, though. Like, I have them up on the shelf, and it's kind of dark in here, so I can't really see them, but they're more orangey to me, like more orangey and black, right? Like, the first Velociraptor looks like it has grill marks on it, right? It has, like, the black stripes. Dodson says, the Allosaurus has me debating. Yeah, we talked about the Allosaurus last week. It is very nice looking, for sure. But yeah, I think any of the Hammond collection, Dodson, I think are worth picking up for sure. Britt says, y'all seen Clock King's design in the Harley Quinn animated series? I haven't finished that series, Britt. I did start it, but there was probably so many other things I was watching that I didn't finish it. But yeah, Clock King is just an interesting, it's just an interesting character, like all the way. Is that the dehydrator Joker comes with? Love that episode. Yeah, see, I'm already behind in late to the party. Pico V1, I think I'm buying that Batwing this time around. That dang thing is so huge. Yeah, for sure. So that is it. Frank, you should look at this one. We talked about it in a previous episode, but the Batwing
Is that on scale with the Batmobile that you just showed?
No. It's way bigger. It fits 6-inch figures inside it. 2 of them. Very large, very large. Britt says Danny DeVito penguin haunted my dreams as a child.
Should have.
Yes.
Should have.
Adam, I'm not getting this low emphasis on Beetlejuice. Why not the many other cool? That's what I mean. Like, we need a Lydia figure, like a Hot Toys one. Yes, I need that. I want that. I gotta have that. But yeah, I really hope, like, we haven't seen what Figure Arts is doing. We don't know if Hot Toys is going to continue. If there is a 6 scale, like one of those characters, though, I hope it's not the Sideshow. I hope like Hot Toys does it instead of Sideshow. But yeah, you're right, Britt. I hope we get other things. Nobody say his name 3 times. I think I've already said it like 10 times. So he's going to be here tonight for sure. I know it. I just know it. Obi-Wan, Peak Obi-Wan. Oh my God, it is a staple in my life. My niece is named after the main character. That is awesome. That is really, really cool, Chad. Yeah, that was really crappy of NECA to do that. Matt says, hey, Matt, the new Hot Toys 89 Batman cape is disappointing. I haven't received it yet. I know it's shipped. I think it's going to be here tomorrow. But yeah, the Batman Returns one that I got like in 2017, 26, I think it was 2017. The Batman Returns version has a horrible cape. I hope this one's better. I haven't really watched too many reviews on it. But yeah. Britt, I'm just feeling worried about how many times you said the name. That's what I mean. I've said his name too many times. Yeah, I've said it too many. I'm worried now because on top of the ghosts, I don't know what. Now I'm going to have Beetlejuice to contend with. So it's like, shoot, I can't catch a break. I cannot catch a break.
I only said it once.
Let's keep it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Burgundy Tux would have been a cool one, Adam. That would have been really neat. Chad says, don't worry, Frank. To this day, I haven't seen E.T. all the way through. What? Oh, my goodness, you guys. You're killing me. Y'all are killing me.
He was way overrated. Little shit.
Frank, we're rated G here.
Oh, sorry.
All audiences accepted.
Well, that's right. You're 3 hours behind me. I mean, it's 10:15 here.
I hear ya.
I know.
Adam, his large Marge face is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Watch this?
What's that?
Do your students watch this?
I hope not.
Do they know you do this whole thing?
I hope not.
Okay. Just ask.
In the past, yes. Not sure about now.
Okay.
I hope not. His large Marge face is awesome. Yes, definitely, Adam. Yeah, that is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, large Marge. You tell me you've seen that one, Frank.
Large Marge. What is that?
Oh my God. Now, have you seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No, I haven't.
Sorry, guys. Frank had to leave. He's goners. He's gonna be gone the rest of the night. No, I'm just kidding. There he is.
No, I should, because Pee-wee is classic. He is classic, but I didn't appreciate him at his time.
My mom tells me, I don't remember it 100%, but my mom says that I ran the tape, like, out, the VHS tape of that movie, like when I was a kid. Like I wore it out.
I don't like talking furniture. That's a Howard Stern reference. Sorry.
Okay, that's everything I would not get. If it's not like dark and creepy and weird, then I'm probably not going to get the reference. Yes, Chad. Tim Burton for life, 100%. Let's see. Mary, did you see the Gentleman for Blonde's Marilyn Monroe and third statue from Damn Toys? Big Bet has Atlantis Incredible. I have not seen that, Mary. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen that. Should we look at it? I'm gonna look it up right now. Frank, you keep the Cantinians entertained for just a second.
Oh, should I dance?
Depends.
No, so I asked if your students watched it at all, because I wasn't sure if you crossed over into this type of chatter in the classroom and kept and mixed the two, or do you keep school and this totally separate?
Yeah. No.
You do.
Very separated.
Very separate. Okay.
Okay, Mary, I think I found it here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Thank you for letting me know about this, by the way. So I see the bust. It says ultra realistic bust. Yeah, that looks really good. I mean, I don't know that it looks 100%, to be honest. The eyes look a little bit light in the makeup department. It's interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. But it looks a little off to me. Like the facial expression looks a little off and the makeup looks a little bit off. It's good. It just doesn't look spot on. It's also very expensive. It's $3,999.99, $4,000. But they also have a couple other ones. They have a 1/3 scale. Yeah, who asked for a 1/3 scale? That's what I want to know. Like, who in the world said, "Hey, we want you guys to make a 1/3 scale statue"? Anyway, yeah. I mean, she looks. It's a nice looking figure, this one, but to me, this one looks a little bit like an impersonator, like a really good impersonator. It doesn't look. Yeah, I don't know. Just the expression. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like the scene. The scene's a very joyous, like happy number. And I don't know. Like I don't feel like they're really capturing that with this figure. Like she doesn't look like happy. She looks like worn out or something. Like me at the end of the day, at the end of a long day at work.
Well, maybe they did capture Marilyn then, because they wore her out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so that one's $2,400. And then now there's a quarter scale. Okay, so they did 1-to-1 scale, like life size, essentially. There's a 1/3 scale, and now there's a quarter scale. And that's because the 8th scale model kit is sold out. Oh my gosh, all these scales. Let's look at this one. Yeah, no, this one's just not good at all. Like this doesn't look anything like
capture her face, I don't think.
No, not at all. The hair color is wrong. Like, no, not like big time fail. This is Star Ace, by the way. This isn't the same company as Star Ace. And they just did not stick the landing on this one at all.
That's the Lifetime movie actress version.
Exactly. And the one that sold out is by X Plus. Who are these companies? I haven't even heard of them. $52.99 8th scale model kit. Yeah, and this one just looks weird too. It doesn't look like her at all. I know what this is supposed to be. It's from when she was in Korea, but it's just all wrong. Like her facial expression, like it looks like the Joker. It doesn't look right at all. The ones that I have that are amazing are the ones that Blitzway made, the statues. I have both of their quarter scale statues, and they're incredible. Like they're very very good. And those are incredible. Like I think those have any of these that we've looked at beat by a pretty wide margin. I'll jump over to my Instagram, see if I got any pics up. But Yeah. Do you collect anything like that, Frank? Outside of like toys? Do you go outside of that to any extent?
Well, like the statue, pretty much Star Wars, but like I'm the Gentle Giant's minibus. Uh, I did do a lot of the sideshow 12-inch figures back during the Revenge of the Sith period. So like all the clone troopers, clone commanders, I have all of those. Uh, the little minibus, the full size helmet replicas. I found it was
Mhm.
kind of neat to display the mini bust next to the full size helmet when I could mix and match those together in my big display case down in the main living area that I have that I'm proud of. The toys get relegated upstairs where I am, but the good high ticket stuff get to go up downstairs. Um, so I would do that sort of thing, but I don't really go outside of Star Wars with the collectibles. Maybe a little bit of Disney, the big
Mm.
figs that they used to do maybe
Oh yeah.
15 years ago. Now what they do, they call big figs, aren't big figs. They're half the size.
This is the one that I do have that I do love. This is the Blitzway. Um, Quarter scale. It's a statue. She's actually on a rotating base, so she spins around. But I think they did a really nice job with this one. I have her on top of my DTOFs. But yeah, she's just really she's really pretty.
Is
Like
that
this
all
one.
sculpt or is it fabric?
Yeah, her outfit is fabric.
Nice.
Yeah, she actually has like a wire type, or it's not a wire. She has like a plastic, like a shaper kind of thing in there, so you can keep the shape in place. But yeah, it's a really nice figure. I think they did a really good job on this one. That's the other one that I have too from Blitzway, which is the Gentlemen Prefer Blondes version. It's really nice too. They're both really nice. And then I have a couple of Star Ace. I have the Star Ace doll too in the pink dress, but it's okay. It's not like a great one. Anyway, um, that's a good point, Adam. It looks a little like Let's Make Love Head on Gentleman for Her Blonde's body. Speaking of the one from earlier, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Um, yeah, the Star Ace one is pretty bad. It really is pretty bad. Like, I don't know how that got approved from the estate, but yeah. Hey, Allison, how's it going? Yeah, for sure. She had a more playful look in that scene in that movie. The whole diamonds are a girl's best friend jig. So that one's really off. I love tangents. We're going off into tangents. Perfect. Wouldn't be social hour without tangents.
So on the Kenner note, I wanted to ask, were you privy to the Aliens Predator line? A fan of any of that? Or was that before your time?
Aliens and Predator.
Yeah, well, they kind of mixed the two. It started as Aliens, then they brought in Predator, and then they kind of merged the two lines together for action figures back in the early 90s, I
Yeah,
guess.
no, I was never really into those.
No. I was
Yeah.
for the duration, and then Star Wars hit, so it was like, oh, out they go.
Yeah, I got the Leonard versions that they made a few years back. I have those, and those are fun, but that's about it. I think I take it back. I do have a NECA Predator, one of their ultimates. I have the NECA Predator, and I have a NECA Ultimates Alien, like just one of each. And I do have a NECA Ripley figure. But back then, the Kenner days, no, I never had any of that stuff.
Because I think NECA now is kind of like redoing, or at least taking the art and the packaging from the original Kenner stuff from the early 90s and redoing figures and putting them on cards that look like the Kenner stuff, Kenner art. Like the
Yeah,
alien panther and the
Mhm.
crossing of the alien character in different species.
Yeah. Adam says Marilyn would fit right into the Cantina. Yeah, maybe. Maybe she would.
The Tanika sisters would not like it, but
Yeah, I say Tonica sisters. I say Tonica. That's the way I've always pronounced it.
As soon as I said it, I knew I was going to catch shit.
Hey, I could be wrong, but that's the way that Hasbro says it too. So,
You're right. Well, there's two N's, so I should have prepared for this better.
Yeah, I'm hyper fixated on weird details. So, anyway, there's a question for you here, Frank, from Britt.
Oh,
Did Kenner do all the crazy colors for Predator, or was that a different line?
Well, they had a lot of different versions of Predator. Funny she asked.
Show us.
I happen to have a card back handy.
Indeed you do. I'm going to put you in solo layout so we can see that better.
There's a lot of different things going on here, but I don't think any of them were specifically movie accurate. They took a lot of liberties with things. Like there was a red lava planet one. Didn't really have anything going on with it, and like a glow in the dark one. So they did take a lot of liberty.
Yeah, kind of like they did with all the Batman like figures back then. They came in like if you wanted a Batman and you went to the store just to find a regular Batman, you couldn't because they had like winter gear Batman, and they had one in a gold suit, and they had like neon Batman, all these weird laser Batman.
Yeah, for a while they went that way with the Power of the Jedi line with like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They had some winter coat characters, and they kind of went obscure for a little while.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's go ahead and move on. Are there any topics left, or do we still have something to go still? Do we need more? No problem. We got that. We have other topics we can look at here. We're going to talk about for a little bit the magic of Kenner, and I know we've kind of been going back to everything we've talked about so far. It seems like we keep going back to Kenner already, but I do want to talk a little bit more about why Kenner is something that no matter whether it's Star Wars or one of those other classic lines that we've been talking about, Jurassic Park, Batman. I mean, there's so many of them, but it always seems like it comes back to Kenner. And it doesn't matter if it's Hasbro, doing the vintage collection or doing other things, or even other companies trying to emulate the appearance of the Kenner style shape of the card back when they're doing their own retro styled figures these days. But it seems like it always comes back to Kenner. And, I'm just wondering, why is that?
They did it right. I guess in that same era, let's say, Mattel kind of had, it all depended on who you got the license with, because you had a big run of merchandise with the Superman Christopher Reeve series in the late 70s, but Kenner missed the boat, I guess. I don't know if they even had their hand in to try to get a license to go with that. But Mattel, I guess, had, or who was it? Wasn't even Mattel. They did the little Miko. They did the little 6-inch figures, dolls that had the cloth suits. Seemed to have the superhero line nailed down. But they never probably had the success that Kenner had. The packaging was very nondescript, slapped some colors on a box, didn't have the design aesthetic that Kenner seemed to capture. Even now, I mean, the 4-inch figure scale, there's only one way to do it. It's got to be a 6x9 card. The figure's got to be in the lower left. Everybody mimics the style, and it works.
Yeah, it definitely works. I mean, they figured out that formula really early on. Even just the scale of it, right? Like their figures, initially the scale was 3 3/4 inches. Of course, as you move into the the mid 80s into the 90s, that scale increases to 4.5 inches for whatever reason. But just that classic 3 3/4 inch scale, like all these other companies today, even like you mentioned Spin Master earlier. I mean, that's their scale. They're doing that size. Mattel is doing that size. I mean, it just like for whatever reason, somebody said, hey, this scale right here, is perfect for a mass produced action figure. And I think it's brilliant because they figured it out, and the presentation of it,
It's perfect for world building.
It's perfect for world building, yeah. But the presentation of it too is just, that card with the figure and then a reference photo of the character from the film, like that just like solidifies like what you're purchasing, and it makes it more exciting in my opinion.
And then to have a franchise logo, I thought it was kind of interesting too that they would choose to recreate a logo to make it a toy logo versus the movie logo.
Yeah.
So how many figures are on your desk in front of you right now?
Not too many, actually. I just cleaned it up yesterday.
So you reached down and pulled up Princess Leia. So I've got about 7 on my desk.
There's only a few. I have Zeb. I'm trying to see how long I can get him to stay standing on one leg. So far, it's been like a month. He's standing on one foot. And then I have I got Vader, New Hope Vader here too. And that's pretty much it at the moment.
I think my favorite at the moment.
Oh, no, there's one more. Nice.
It's him looking face to face.
Very nice. Now I do have one more, and this is Swamp Thing, Kenner Swamp Thing. This is the very early variant that had the green paint running all the way down his arms, because they made a running change very early on, so that most of them have the green paint only comes to about there along the figure's body, like it is on the back basically. But this was a very early. In my opinion, I've researched a lot on this stuff because that's what I do, I guess. In my opinion, that's one of the rarest figures ever made, from any company. But
does it glow in the dark?
It doesn't glow in the dark, but you put him in water like this. You dunk him in water, and when you pull him out, he's completely brown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a neat feature. Yeah, no, I mean, Kenner did like you said, they did it right. Like they had that formula from the get-go, and it's been oftentimes emulated, and they attempt to duplicate it, whether it's Hasbro or other companies, but they've never quite, especially these other companies, they've never quite gotten there, because there's only one, like Kenner Star Wars line, right? There's only one Kenner Star Wars action figure carded aesthetic, and it's often emulated but never duplicated. They never quite get there all the way.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow on Instagram, and he's on Etsy doing cards. Checkingram or something, Cking, I don't know, where he takes the Kenner style of cards and applies it to a lot of different genres, like the Superman movies, the Hulk, the Wonder Woman series from the 70s, uses the Kenner style to create a card back design, kind of creating the toy that never existed that we wish did.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, they went from 3 3/4 to like 4.5 inch scale, and that's what all the Batman was, Swamp Thing, Robin Hood, when they did the Kevin Costner Robin Hood line. It was all that scale. Jurassic Park was 4.5 inch. But it's still, I still believe it stayed within that world building, size, because obviously Kenner for Jurassic Park did a whole range of dinosaurs and play sets, and so did they also for Batman. They did all the vehicles, the Batcave play set, and all that. So pretty cool. Anything else you want to mention with regards to Kenner?
I hope they don't stop.
Well,
as long as I'm still here, I'm still buying it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Hasbro continues the vintage collection for a very long time, and we'll always get that
It's
logo
been
on
going
there.
for so long, and they retired it for that little interim there with the Black Series, doing a 3¾ inch Black Series line instead, saying they needed to
Yeah,
give the vintage a rest. And we've been on a long run. I hope they don't. I hope they don't rest it anytime soon.
yeah, for sure.
But if they do, it'll keep me. I won't have to buy 2 of everything. I'll just buy the one to open.
There you go. I would do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I do want to mention that I do intend to, like I was saying earlier, we have the Batman Kenner show coming up in a couple weeks. So I am intending to cover a little more of these Kenner lines in more detail, and if and when we focus on more on the Star Wars Kenner, Frank, we'll definitely call you back to bring you back in to talk about that too.
Oh, great! Thank you. I would
Yeah,
love
for
to.
sure. Awesome. Couple comments here to mention. Pico, one for us older dudes, they nailed the collect them all format. It made sense. Make it cheap, make it available. Yeah, 100%. Affordable to buy several figures, right? Like that was really key, I think.
That's where they kind of lost it a little bit with a $17 price point now for a figure. It's hard to.
Adam says Kenner allowed us to bring the Star Wars universe into our real lives. All kids wanted to do was relive those memories, and now we could do it with toys. Yep, totally. He also says it's hard to imagine those retro figures being the best thing ever, but they were, and no one had any reason to believe there would ever be a whole legacy of lines. Yeah, I mean, it's still going after almost half a century. Pico1 says, I feel like Hasbro is abandoning the perfect Kenner format, but that's all I will say. I don't want to get negative. That'd be an interesting thing to hear more about. Pico1, maybe we can talk about that sometime. Dawson says, what I love about Kenner is they experimented with their own lines. So you have series 2 Jurassic Park and Chaos Effect bringing their own style and imagination. For sure, that's a good point. They did try to evolve some of these lines to do their own thing creatively, with other lines too. Like we were saying, the Batman, all the different costumes, the different colors. They tried doing their thing, and it was kind of neat to see. Cool. Well, we have one last segment that we are going to go ahead and bring in. I know you guys know what it is, so we're going to go ahead and call it out right here.
Good. New acquisitions.
New acquisitions. All right. So this is the part of the show where you guys tell us in the chat what you've acquired this week, in terms of things you've added to your collections, and Frank and I will do the same thing. So Frank, I always let the guests go first. So if there's anything that you've recently acquired that you would like to share, we'll do a little show and tell.
Oof. I can't say I have anything that I acquired recently. I'm sorry.
You're more restrained than I am.
I've been looking, but I haven't found anything. I know that new wave is hitting Walmart. I've had no luck in my area catching and nailing that Acolyte wave, but I can't wait to catch it myself. I thought the Acolyte was a good enough series for me. I like anything that's new Star Wars content, so I will embrace it. If they put a figure out in vintage collection, I will consume it just like an Oreo.
Nice. It's funny you mentioned Oreo. Just random tangent. Of course, I was talking to my mom earlier, and she mentioned Oreos. So it's just kind of funny you mentioned them too. It's a sign that I need some Oreos, I guess.
The blue and the red Oreos. I heard about those, but I haven't gone there.
I never got those. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about those lightsabers. I see some lightsabers in the back. So you don't have anything new, but tell me about those lightsabers you got back there.
Oh, these are on my desk. These are those little mini master
yeah.
replica ones. So I have the three. This is the Luke Return of the Jedi, the Luke Empire Strikes Back, and the Obi-Wan Weathered. They were the 0.35 scale, I think.
0.45.
0.45. Thank you. But
Yep.
yeah, I have
Yeah,
those here on
nice.
my desk as those are my three favorite lightsabers, which
Nice.
is hard to
And
narrow down, but
it is
of
hard.
them all, those are the three favorites.
And those are that's the official Master Replica's display stand, isn't it?
It is, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I used to have all of those at one point, and yeah, it's a long story, but I ended up not having them after a while. And I'm trying to get them back, but they're too expensive.
And kept those. I was like, all right, let me just pick three, one case, one cabinet, three favorites, and get rid of the rest. But
yeah, they're too expensive now. Like if you look on eBay, like they're all way expensive.
Everybody likes to have the collection, and space is the premium, so you got to go smaller. And
sure,
they won out.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, they look bigger from like this angle. Like they look like full size sabers.
Yeah, the perspective works. Yeah, but they're just right here.
Nice. All right, well then I'm going to go. All right, so I have a few things here. All right, I'm gonna go put myself in the giant layout. Sorry, I hope I don't scare anybody. Hello. All right, so the first thing I have to share, there's three things. I got the Marvel Legends Sentinel 2-pack to go along with my other X-Men Marvel Legends. So this was a Hasbro Pulse pre-order earlier in the summer. And I saw these at San Diego Comic-Con in person, and they looked really, really neat on the shelf. The way they actually had a bunch of them on display, but this is a 2-pack. And I think that's kind of cool because, you know, Sentinels, you kind of need more than one. But it's nice without having to get the really big HasLab Sentinel that they did a while back. So there's that. I also have, so they recently re-released The Batman, the 2022 film in theaters. And one of the exclusive popcorn buckets, because popcorn buckets has just exploded as a whole big thing, is this Bat Signal Batman bucket. I'm going to go and turn it on because you can't really see the Bat logo. There we go. So it's pretty big. Like it'll fit with like your 12-inch. If you have any 12-inch Batman figures, it'll work with that. But it has a light, and like the Bat logo is shining on the wall. But it's really nice. It's really lightweight. It's not the fanciest thing. It's plastic, but for a popcorn bucket, it's pretty neat. You can see it like glowing behind me, shining on the figures back there.
The Bat Signal in Jabba's palace.
Yes, and this is like, I think it's like the Batman like classic logo, which is kind of neat. So there's that. And I had to eBay that because it was sold out everywhere at theaters near me. So I had to eBay it. I had to pay a little bit of a premium, but not too bad. And then the next thing that I have here, saving the best for last. It's a big box. I finally received from Sideshow my Hot Toys Attack of the Clones Anakin Skywalker. So I was really excited. I haven't even looked at him yet. Let's see if we can see him. Look at this, Frank. It's got Kenner style influenced.
Nice.
Design.
I love the logo.
I love that Attack of the Clones logo. It's fabulous. But yeah, you can't really see him because there's a lot of plastic and stuff, but he is in there. He is in there. He's waiting to come out.
Does it have a severed arm?
Yeah, I think he has a robotic arm. You can put it on there.
Nice. You can switch it out.
I wish, like Beetlejuice, I wish you could just say Anakin, 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 and he would show up in real life because I'd love that. That would be awesome. And those are my acquisitions for this week. I know I'll have more to show next week because I know that things are coming. But I do want to run through the chat, and I want to see what everybody has been adding to their collections because I do see some comments. Hey, JJ, how's it going? Good to see you. Dachin says it's his favorite segment. the new acquisitions. And Adam also says, this is the time for confession in the Cantina chapel. Indeed. Confess to me your sins, Adam.
Confess.
Confess, and you will be absolved, and you will be saved by the Cantina goddess. Scott says, I'm a dead man walking. I got my barge and big Millennium Falcon this week. My wife is not impressed, but I'm giddy. I love that.
How could she not be impressed with one or the other, not to mention both?
I mean, the sail barge is like super big and impressive. Like, how can you not be impressed with the sail
stellar
barge?
pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're awesome. JJ says the new wave set is a good army builder addition. Britt says she got the Avatar and the Last Airbender turtle duck. It comes with a little bathtub. Nice. Scott says it's tense in his home right now. Well, we approve. We approve. So there's that. Dawson says any confession is good confession in the Church of Social Hour. You guys are making me want to do like a segment or something like for this show, like some sort of not a segment, but like a pre-recorded reel or something, like where I can dress up as like a priestess or something. I don't know. My mind's going with ideas again. David says, I acquired a bunch of Power of the Force figures. Cool. Mary says she got the Vintage Collection X-Wing Pilot 4-pack. She got the Halloween 78 6-scale Dr. Loomis and Hot Toys Mantis. Oh, nice. Very nice, Mary. Mary, I'm just curious. Are you pre-ordering the Beetlejuice figure? I'm just curious if you're planning to pre-order that one. I feel like we pre-order a lot of the same things. Adam says, I got my Sabines and Choppers today. My big confession for this week is that I got the 7-foot animated Vader from Home Depot.
Oh.
Wow. We're talking about like third scale and quarter scale, and then Adam's like, hold my beer. Wow.
Hold my wine.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in my Home Depot. I'll have to look.
And for me, it's hold my Arnold Palmer. But yeah, that's I haven't seen it either, but 7 feet tall. Wow. Scott says
Chopper will be here Sunday, so
Scott got the HD Stormtrooper, the Home Depot Stormtrooper. That was wife approved. My Rebel pilots haven't even shipped yet, as far as I can tell. So I hope they're on their way soon. Stark Iller, how's it going? Got the Sabine and Chopper 2-pack. Adam won a Marvel Legends Deadpool 2-pack in Mr. Stevie's live stream. Very nice. That's awesome, Adam. Did you tell him that you are the moderator for Cantina Social Hour? You should tell him that. That's awesome, though. Let's see. Dodgson, after long 4 weeks of empty catches, the swap meets have blessed me with a Lost World Soundbites Raptor puppet. Nice. And 2009 Battle Growlers Raptor for $17. That's cool. Mary has not gotten her AOTC Anakin quite yet. I hope you get him soon. I'm looking forward to popping him open this weekend and seeing what he's all about. Jeffrey, hi Jeffrey, got Kang Hot Toys. Very nice. That's a good acquisition. Chad says, slow week. I got a sweet Funko Pop. Nice. We don't judge in the Cantina, you know. I mean, yeah, it works. Peak Obi-Wan also got Sabine and Chopper on the way. Dodson says, not a priest, but a Jedi Master. Then it's got some. Okay, yeah. I mean, I have a Jedi robe. I could do that. But then I'd probably want it to be black. And then that would turn me into a Sith, which I'd probably be anyway. But yeah. JJ says, Jabba set from TVC finally came in. Very nice. I haven't opened mine yet. Hold my Jawa juice. Yeah, that's even better. That's an even better one. I didn't tell him, but I was moderating when he was your guest. That's cool. So he probably saw you. My blue milk, you should hold. Nice. Britt says sometimes Funko Pops are the only way to get toys of certain characters. That is true. That is true. No judgment here. It's like, I don't like certain companies. Like, like I have problems in the past with like NECA and McFarlane, but sometimes it's like that's the only way to get certain things that I really want. So I think that's everybody. I think we got through everybody. And we are winding down here in the cantina tonight. The crowd is starting to clear out a little bit.
Before you go, I want to ask you one thing about
go for it.
the Star Speeder drama.
Mm.
I didn't catch your last show or two, so I don't know if you touched on it.
Frank had to leave for the rest of the night, you guys, but he will certainly be back in a future episode.
So some prick really did what he did to you. You bought
On
it
eBay?
and then he reneged on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So I had 3 devices going for the pre-order because I really, really, really wanted the Star Speeder, and I talked about it for weeks on Social Hour before it went up. I had 3 devices going. I had 3. They were each connected to different internet. Like one was cellular, the other 2 were different networks, and one of them got in at 8:05 or 8:06. Really close to the pre-order like opening. And the Star Speeder was already out. So I was like, I thought to myself, okay, I know this is going to go up in price on eBay, so I'm going to go to eBay and buy one right now. And that's exactly what I did. It was more expensive, but it wasn't as expensive as they were going for later that day, right?
Right.
Which I expected was going to be the case. Later that evening, the seller messages me and says that he didn't charge me, or she, I don't know who it was. They didn't charge me enough in shipping. So they were going to have to cancel the transaction. And no, they didn't charge me a lot in shipping. That's true. But I immediately responded and I said, hey, tell me what the difference is. I'll send it to you. And if not, I have a friend that lives close to you. I'll just have him pick it up. Like I 2 options right there, right? Both would have worked perfectly in the seller. So they were probably picking it up would have been even better, because then they wouldn't have had to worry about undercharging me shipping. So they didn't respond. But within like 10 minutes later, I get a message from eBay saying that your transaction is being canceled by the seller. And at this point, the item is selling for like $400 more than I had paid for it that morning. So yeah. I left him negative feedback. It's the first time I've ever done. I've been on eBay since 2001 or 2002, and that is the first time that I've ever left negative feedback. But I totally did.
You had to. So the same seller then put it back up at a much higher markup, I assume.
I never saw it, but I wasn't like looking
Went back and looked.
every 5 minutes either. They could have sold it on another site as well.
Sure.
Who knows?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
No, I was logged in too, and I got in about 10 after the hour, and it was sold out. And, oh, wow.
Yeah. But I my friend Lawrence, Lawrence used to work for DC Direct, was able to snag one, and he offered his to me, which was very stand up of him to do. It was very honorable, very cool.
Yeah,
and I'm forever grateful.
Yeah,
and I love it. I have it on display. I'm working on a new area of the room that nobody's seen yet because it's a brand new setup, and I'm going to do a video on it when it's finished. But it's like a brand new set of like shelves, and it's like some of my very prized items. So I'll definitely do a YouTube video when that is all set up and good to go, because I did a collection video. I've been on YouTube since 2013. I had not done a collection video until very late. I think it was late last year, early this year. I posted a collection video finally. But that's not in it because it's a new edition. So this video that's coming is just going to be like a little follow-up showing up. Well, now there's also this part of the collection to see.
Good. Look forward to it.
Yep. Thank you, Mary, for letting me know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it because I really enjoyed the movie. I had to go by myself. Which is like 90% of the time I go to movies alone, but I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna get it. And I do hope they do more characters. Please do more characters, Hot Toys. Don't leave us hanging. I'm sure it's a great figure, but we need more characters. You got Sideshow Greedo pre-ordered. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Adam, those are really cool. That line is awesome. I'm gonna get all the Cantina characters. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Jabba's Palace ones, assuming those happen. But the Cantina ones, oh yeah, that's my jam. Cool. Well, I think that is everything. Timbo Toys in at the last possible second. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we hit everything we needed to hit tonight. Frank, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on to Social Hour.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course.
I
You have
got
some
that
homework to do.
That first message for Peter, I thought, oh, I think she got the wrong person.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that you mentioned it, I got to share that story. So,
It was a funny story.
I was, I had the TV on the other night when I was messaging Frank about coming on a Social Hour, and I had a YouTube video playing in the background, and the host of the series that I was watching on YouTube, his name was Peter. So as I was messaging Frank, I said, "Hey, Peter, how's it going? You know, do you want to come on a Social Hour?" And yeah, so now his name is actually unofficially Peter.
Well, thank you, Jill.
Yeah, I guess mine's, I don't know why Jill, but yeah, okay. It's a very old school name, Jill. I don't know any Jills. I don't know any Jills.
No.
None of my students are named Jills, and I have 700 and something of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have a single Jill.
You're unique.
Oh, in more ways than one.
Good.
That is very apparent.
Well,
Frank, you have some homework.
It's been fun.
Of course, my pleasure. And you have some homework to do. You got some movies you need to see.
I do.
We're not going to let you back on the show until you've seen Beetlejuice.
There'll be a quiz.
We'll test you.
Yep.
Cool. Well, it's been fun, Frank. Can you let us know, let our audience know where they can go to look you up on the internet?
So I am on eBay and on Etsy, and my shop name is PadawanBear Patches on both locations. So I'm sure if you just search PadawanBear, if you forget anything else, you should find me on either one. I've even Googled myself to see what comes up with PadawanBear, and it happens. So you'll find me. You'll find me if you do it. I think it's an easy name to remember.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's cool. And we do have the link to your Instagram and your eBay page down in the description. So you guys look up Frank, follow Frank, check out his eBay store. And yeah, I don't like Googling myself because I don't like doing that anymore. Yeah,
I got
no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So please send me your address through Instagram and let me send you a little gift package.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you for a wonderful time tonight. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you being with us tonight and hanging out in the Cantina. I hope you have a great weekend. Next Friday, it's Friday the 13th, right? But we're going to be here. I don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to have the 1/6 scale man joining us, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, so no matter where you're tuning in from around the galaxy, be well, be safe. May the force be with you. We will see you soon. Frank, hang on for just a second here. And everyone else, I will catch you on the next stream. Be well, everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.